Hello everybody, and thank you for tuning in to race number 4 of the MSCA Quaker State Late Model Series. And this has been a little bit anticipated, but not really at the same time. This is a pretty good track to race on, so let's get started. Heat number 1, here are your starting lineups. Going to be starting out DW Motorsports on the front row, Dejan Weeks and Bob Schopke. Kyle Collins and Henrietta Fitzwater are going to be in row 2. Row 3, the 26, Jack Porkins, and on his outside is Roy Bruce. Zachary Fitzwater in 4th, and Sam Rogers going to be 5th, or I believe 8th and 9th. Rows 5 is going to be Ferdinand Gabot on the inside, and on the outside will be the 6th of Matthew Brown. In row 7, this is going to be row 6 actually, Eric Hayden in the 62V, and the G5 of Brock McMahon going to be in the outside of row 6. Row 7 is going to be the 5 of Joshua Jones. On his outside, he will have the 12 of Kyle Maxwell. And finally, bringing up the rear will be the number 21E of Patrick Curtis. That is your lineup for this first heat race here at Wilmot Speedway. And here we go. Dejan Weeks and Bob Schopke going to lead them down to the stripe. Green flag is out. Dejan Weeks pulls out a little bit and gets a really good run into turn 1. But at the same time, he's got the 83 of Kyle Collins right up his butt. But at the same time, Kyle Collins is going to have a few issues with Jack Porkins going down to the bottom side, going to take that position away. But right behind them, Jack Porkins didn't really want to see that Australia scheme, so he's trying to get up to the front as quick as possible. And Dejan Weeks kind of caught off guard by the quick charge from the 26 car. And Porkins will take the lead in lap number 3. But at the same time, you got Zachary Fitzwater trying to get up to 2nd. Ferdinand Gabot is currently stuck in 3rd. The race for 5th, however, is between Hayden and Collins. And the 62V of Hayden is going to take that inside lane away from Collins and take the lead. Jack Porkins getting a little bit dicey up there, as the 59 of Zachary Fitzwater pretty much took him out of the race last time and got him a bad finish, and now he's trying to do it again as Zachary Fitzwater is going to take that inside lane away from Porkins. We got the number 5 of Joshua Jones moving in now, trying to get in on that top 5, and now Zachary Fitzwater will take the lead from Porkins. Porkins going to fall in behind him. Eric Hayden, current points leader, is in 3rd. Here's Dejan Weeks currently holding that 5th position. That is the position you want to stay within. And now he's getting a little bit of an attack from Sam Rogers. Sam Rogers going to take himself down to the bottom. And now Rogers with a good positioning in the 5th spot, being able to clear Dejan Weeks going into turn number 2. And now Eric Hayden's going to be in trouble, as he's going to be knocked over to the 5th position by Sam Rogers, not Jake Rogers. He's in the 2nd heat. And now Eric Hayden has to defend his position to keep in the feature event from his heat race. If not, he can just go through the last chance showdown. But Kyle Collins coming back after losing a lot of ground at the beginning of the race. Jack Porkins currently in 3rd, but now he's getting pushed back to 4th by Sam Rogers, as Rogers making a charge up the field. Eric Hayden trying to get the position back from the 83 car of Kyle Collins, and he's doing a very good job of it as he gets back onto the bottom side. Eric Hayden looks like he might be getting it. The white flag has been raised. Here we go, coming around turn 4. Eric Hayden will easily take that, coming down to the stripe, and that's going to be your top 5. Zachary Fitzwater getting the win. Sam Rogers, Joshua Jones, Jack Porkins, and Eric Hayden, in that order, will make it into the feature event from their heat race. And speaking of heat races, heat number 2 is coming up next. JT Hanley and Nick Pericles will make out the pole. Tanya Breyer, the winner from 2 races ago, will make out inside. TJ Hanley on the outside. Row number 3 will be the 8 car of Chris Dodd, and the 50 of Alex Tanker will be on his outside. Eric Willis, Lucas Tran, they will make up row number 4. Row number 5, Gabriel Wanderley, really looking for a good start to this week. Carson Scott to his outside in row 5. Jake Rogers doing alright. I believe he's in the top 10 in points on the inside. Daniel Maxwell to the outside in the sixth row. Cody Smart going to start inside, 7th row. Callum Wood is to his outside. And finally, last race winner, number 24Y, Mike Serra, will bring out the field in the rear in row 8 by himself. And here we go. Getting ready to start the race is JT Hanley in the 80 car. Green is out, and we are underway here for heat number 2 here at Wilmot. JT Hanley gets a really good jump off of the first turn, and not really holding back any. But now Tanya Breyer going to be coming in on the bottom side to take away that inside lane, and the inside seems to be the preferred line at a lot of these tracks. This track in particular, it's not as strong as some of the other tracks that we've seen, but it's definitely the lane you want to be in. Tanya Breyer now in the lead. Jake Rogers fighting for the 5th spot with Nick Pericles in the 31. He's going to take that spot easily, as Tanya Breyer seems to be pulling away from the field now. However, the 604 of Eric Willis is going to try and take over that, and man, he makes up a lot of ground in the corner. Really showing speed here in that 604 car. Jake Rogers, however, moving up the field in a dominating way. He has got some speed behind that number 98 Eris machine. He's going to get right under Tanya Breyer in her 13B car. And look at that go. Jake Rogers doing a very good job of keeping to that inside, being able to take the lead almost uncontested from the 13B of Breyer. And now he's starting to make a little bit of a lead here, but now we see Nick Pericles trying to get under JT Hanley. He has gotten under JT Hanley, and he will take the lead, or take that 5th spot. And now he's fighting Eric Willis to take over that spot, so that way he doesn't have to defend the 5th spot. And I mean, he was kind of stuck at the bottom lane, and that's really where you want to be stuck at if you're going to be stuck at all. And Eric Willis is having a lot of issues here now, as the 24Y of Mike Serra is going to try and take that inside lane. Willis looking to maybe make it 3 wide, but he doesn't risk it, as that could make a really big mess on the backstretch. He's going to avoid it, and now the 24Y of Mike Serra is going to take 5th. But he's not done yet. He's going to the inside of Tanya Breyer, as he had no room to make it to the outside, and he's going to take that spot relatively easily. Carson Scott now in the mix. He's in the 25 car below the 604 of Eric Willis, now fighting with the 13B of Tanya Breyer for the 5th spot. 1 lap to go as they come across the line this time, and Breyer losing positions really quickly now, as the 25 of Carson Scott will take the 5th spot, and almost being contested by Chris Dodd, but the race is over. That is the checkered flag, and he will keep it. Nick Pericles, Jake Rogers, Mike Serra, Cody Smart, and Carson Scott will advance from their heat race. Heat number 2 is over, and now time for the last chance showdown. Alex Tanker is going to make up the inside. Kyle Collins to his outside. That is row number 1. Dejan Weeks, Lucas Trand, row number 2. JT Hanley and Chris Dodd will make up row 3. The third DW Motorsports entry, Bob Schopke, is going to make up row 4. They're not doing good in their heat races, definitely. Tanya Breyer going to make the outside. Gabriel Wanderley, row 5, with Roy Bruce on his outside. Another team that's really struggling to get cars into the feature from their heats. Henrietta Fitzwater in row 6 on the inside. Eric Willis on her outside. TJ Hanley, Ferdinand Gavat make up row 7. Brock McMahon, Kyle Maxwell, row 8. Row number 9 will be Daniel Maxwell and Matthew Brown. And finally, bringing up the rear is going to be Patrick Curtis and 224 of Callum Wood. Now here we go into the last chance showdown. Probably one of the most exciting races, because there's a lot of battling going on for position here. And Alex Tanker will lead them down to the stripe. Green flag is out for the last chance showdown. 20 laps. And immediately Dejan Weeks is trying that inside line. Right behind him he has the 80 car. And 3 wide already. Bob Schopke getting shoved to the outside lane by Gabriel Wanderley, it seems. Schopke shoved into the middle lane. 2 DW Motorsports cars into that 3 wide situation, but he manages to just squeeze into that little spot being left by Fitzwater. The 21 car of Dejan Weeks got the lead early, and now looks like he's trying to keep it. And Bob Schopke not really driving in desperation, I would believe, at this point, because this is the 4th time he hasn't advanced. This could be the 4th time he hasn't advanced to the feature race. Definitely wants to advance now, as he's getting under the 48 car of Gabriel Wanderley now to try and take over second. And the fact that we're seeing DW Motorsports 1-2, DW Motorsports seems to have really gotten things together in the last in the time between this race and the last. As you can see, both cars 1-2. They did have that win in the first race, dominating performance by Lucas Tran. Now 43 car of Henrietta Fitzwater is going to get to the bottom side of the 334. And that's going to split up the DW Motorsports team. But still, Dejan Weeks out at the front. But here's a driver that we've really been looking at closely, is Roy Bruce. He's probably been the most consistent, as he's made every feature so far. So it wouldn't be a surprise for him to make this one, and he consistently can finish up at the front in these big pack races. As we've just seen it time in, time out. He's just been finishing very well. Roy Bruce in the 808 car, definitely a contender for the points. Surprised that he actually lost the points lead to Eric Heiden, but Heiden had a really good race, and he didn't do all that well in the last race at Cedarburg. One of the 12 cars, that is Daniel Maxwell. You can tell because he does not have the gold numbers. The MSCA told Kyle that he had to change further the car so that way they could identify it, and now it's a lot easier to identify. Ferdinand Gabat, another good run to make it into the feature that he needs. Patrick Curtis as well, he needs a good run to make it into the feature event. I believe this is about towards the 10th position. He's, I believe, holding 10th, and currently under threat from the 6 car and the 48. The 6 car in that Masterbuilt trying to take over. Actually, I believe the 6 is in 10th, but is going back in another kind of 3 wide situation. They're really running 3 wide very well. This track does have a lot of room on the outside, but not as much room as you would think. And now Kyle Collins going to be running into the mix here, as he's going to try and take that spot away. He is currently seen in 10th, but we might see the 6 car get knocked out of the transfer position. As you can see, Kyle Collins easily makes it up to 8th. The 83 car now moving up through the field, as JT Hanley now holds that 10th position, and he's trying as best as he can not to get rid of it. But there's his brother TJ. Both of them have a joint stint in this team, both pooling their money together, but at the same time you've also got Lucas Tran, DW Motorsports Power, under that car, and definitely a contender to make this feature in the 4 car, as he's already won a race in dominating fashion. And this is really kind of the battles that I was talking about before, is that you'd see just really tough battles going back and forth between these transfer positions, and that's really where a lot of people would be watching if they really kind of paid attention to what this race was about, because that 10th spot is really where the drivers are trying to get to. And currently Lucas Tran was holding the 10th spot. Now JT Hanley is holding the 10th spot against TJ. Only a few laps left in the race as they come around turn 2, turn 4 for the 2-lap to go mark. And Chris Dodd, we haven't talked a lot about Chris Dodd today. He has made a giant move from dead last all the way to about halfway through, and this is for getting into the feature event last. The white flag has been waved, and Chris Dodd currently holds 10th. Nobody seems to be able to make a challenge, and Chris Dodd will be able to come around uncontested, and a little bit of a camera glitch there, but that's gonna be it. Roy Bruce going to be in the win. Bob Schopke, nice finish there. Dejan Weeks in 3rd. 4th is Brock McMahon. 5th is Henrietta Fitzwater. 6th, Ferdinand Gabat. 7th, Kyle Collins. 8th, Lucas Tran. All DW Motorsports transfer. Eric Willison 9th, and Chris Dodd with a nice 10th. And now here's the drivers that will sadly be having to pack up and go home or watch the race from their trailers. JT Hanley, Alex Tanker, Tanya Breyer, TJ Hanley, Gabriel Wanderley, Daniel Maxwell, Kyle Maxwell. Sad to see those 2 drivers have to pack up. Matthew Brown, Patrick Curtis, and Callum Wood. They pretty much finished where they drew for the qualifying. And that's going to be your Last Chance Showdown field. This has been the MSCA Last Chance Showdown and your heat races. We'll see you next time for the feature.